considering the debt that is crippling the energy sector. As of January 2019, we had $2.7 billion US. Was it prudent? Was it the right way for government to look to address the issue by increasing the levy?
We believe that that's a lazy approach to be solving these issues, because if today we are not getting in from ESLA, as suggested by the finance minister, indicating that the ESLA amounts are depleted in value because of inflation and depreciation of the cedi, who manages the local currency, who manages our currency? If you manage it well, it has depleted. Who's making this? It's not the making of the ordinary consumer of fuel in Ghana. And so we believe that they could have done well. Today, we understand that more than $900 million of the ESLA cannot be accounted for. Where is this money? As we speak, we have more than 600 million sitting in the ESLA account. How are they deploying it to go and some of this debt in the sector? I'm sure that government hasn't done well in making this attempt to show up the revenue of ESLA through the same fuel we buy. Remember the promises that before the government took over or during campaign, they assured consumers that will ensure you pay less for fuel. Today, on the price computation or the petroleum price build-up, more than 25% of the components in there are made out of taxes. And you are going to introduce additional ones. Between 2017 January till now, fuel price has increased by more than 38%. If you apply this one, we are going beyond 40% in the space of 2.5 years. We think that government are being unfair to consumers of this fuel. Why don't they try other commodities? Remember that anytime you increase fuel price, it has rippling effects on consumers and citizens. Disposable income is affected negatively. Price of goods and services will go up. And while we go through this cycle, government will also be battered, because when price of goods goes up, it will affect inflation. And GDP will also suffer, because when producers find that their input cost is high relative to fuel, some of them might be forced to lay down their tools or lay off workers or shut down. Then we'll begin to suffer as a country. So government should be careful the way they want to solve this issue. Well, introducing additional tax and being a burden to consumers. Let's be careful.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. And that was the Executive Secretary, Institute of Energy Security, Ghana, has been sharing his view on the introduction or the increase in the energy sector debts. Government is trying to gets more revenue to address the issue, but he believes the introduction or the increase in that regard was not necessary. Well, that's his view. Edward, do you share similar sentiment with him?
Yeah, earlier I told you about the fact that any moment, fuel prices go up, it goes up, it automatically feed into price of goods and services, and it will affect inflation. And that's what we talked about earlier.